Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. Kwasi here. And in today's video, I want to share with you how you can navigate through tough times in your life, hard times, and when things aren't going your way. It's really easy to maintain a good attitude when things are going your way. But the real question is, how do you persist when things aren't going your way, when everything around you is falling apart? This is probably the most important thing that you need to learn how to do in creating your reality. And once you master this, creating your reality becomes a piece of cake. So by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you 4 keys that you must remember at all times to help you navigate through these tough times so that you can come out and still have what you want. But even more than that, actually use these tough times and these hard times when things don't go your way to your actual advantage, so you can get an unfair advantage to every single other person out there. So with that, let's go right ahead and get started. Before I get started with this video, I wanted to quickly announce that you can now get access to exclusive email list. Just scroll down to the pinned comments down in the comment section below, and you'll be taken to a page where you can enter your name and your email. And you'll be able to access exclusive bonuses that I share every single week with our members of our exclusive newsletter that I can't really share on the channel because of YouTube's platform limitations. So without further delay, let's go right ahead and get started. Today, I wanted to talk about tough times and how to navigate through tough times and why tough times even happen, even though you feel like you're doing everything just right. Okay, so let's answer that first question. Why do tough times happen? Well, what you've got to understand is reality always takes the path of least resistance in order to deliver you to your goals or in order to balance anything out in nature. So when you have a particular thought or you have a particular intention, reality, your own layer of reality, will work its best to try and manifest that goal for you. Okay? So when you take action, when you make an intention, when you dream about a certain goal and you keep stacking the chips in the right scale, the right balance, it'll keep happening. You'll keep slowly moving towards it. But the reason why you don't immediately move towards it is because A, your intention energy isn't high, and B, it would create some massive imbalance in nature. And nature and reality is a perfect system which will never go out of balance. If there's a perceived imbalance, it starts to balance out that imbalance by acting out and creating external events. Like you see there are inexplicable events like pandemics and tornadoes and natural disasters, etc. Why do these happen? Nature wants to create some sort of a balance, right? And this perfect system stays in balance by making all of these events happen. So reality takes the path of least resistance in order to deliver you to your goals. And inevitably, when taking the path of least resistance, sometimes it means that things aren't always going to go your way until it goes your way. Right? So things aren't going to go your way until it does go your way. So this is why we have these tough times or periods of tough times that we perceive to be tough times. But in the grand scheme of things, this is what needed to happen in order for you to get to your goal. You needed to go through the hardship to learn the lessons that you needed to learn in order to become the person you became so that you could achieve and maintain what you're achieving and having right now. Hope that makes sense. So this phenomenon is called the path of least resistance. And you will always see that in life, the best answer to anything is always the simplest answer, the simplest solution. And this phenomenon is actually called Occam's razor. You can look it up. And Occam's razor basically says that if there are many different diagnoses for a same, it's a medical thing, right? Like if there are many different diagnoses for a condition, it's always the simplest diagnosis that's the best solution, that's the best diagnosis. Right? So in life, whatever solution we're looking for to a particular problem, you can always use this principle to solve that problem, which is the simplest solution to a problem is always the best solution. Okay? Is always hands down the best solution. The simplest path is always the best path to take. So just like that, we human beings have also been endowed with this path of least resistance nature. If you look at human beings, we're never going to do and expend unnecessary energy doing a task that we know we could do it easier, right? So human beings in our actual nature, we're very lazy. That's why people say, oh, humans are lazy, or some people, majority of people are lazy, and that's true because They don't have motivation enough to do something. They're always doing jobs that they don't want to do. And B, why would we expend more energy doing something that we know we can do something quite easily, right? So if there's two paths to the top of the mountain, which path would you take? The harder path or the easier path? The easier path, right? So reality takes the path of least resistance. Human beings operate from the principle of the path of least resistance. Everything in nature operates from that path, right? So now this brings me to an important point about reality creation. What actually makes, your manifestations come true? If you imagine the nature of reality, it operates like a mirror, okay? On one side of it, the external world, you're seeing a particular reflection. And this reflection is shaped by the individual's internal world, what you can craft internally in your mind's eye, right? So there is an image and there is a corresponding reflection. The problem is most people get so distracted, so drawn in and distracted by the reflection, they forget to present the right image. They let the reflection form the image in the mirror. They look at bad things happening right now and they believe that, oh, I must be a bad person and I must be inadequate. Therefore, these bad things are happening to me. As opposed to, no, this is just an anomaly. Instead of just letting it go and ignoring it, we start to take these little things so seriously. Has it ever happened to you when you were doing really well at something, but then one bad thing happened and all you could focus on was that one bad thing? And that one bad thing started to form the basis of the whole rest of, maybe the next 2 or 3 years of your life, until you realize what was happening. You realize that you were focusing on the wrong thing, and that's why your entire life was shaped by that. You could have had a great childhood, but you had one bad event and then that shaped your whole adulthood. And you've been living by that trauma that you've held on to. That's happened to so many people. It's unbelievable, right? So we start to take this reflection so seriously that we let it form the image. Now, what I mean by the image and what the most powerful form of image that you can form is the attitude that we have towards our realities. Okay, so the assumption that we make in who we want to be, what we want to do, and what we want to have. So if I were to look at an example, let's say you want to be a 20K a month business owner, right? Just for example's sake. And you're currently at 5K a month, and you make the intention and you make the assumption that, okay, from this point forward, I will embody this 20K a month version of myself. What would the 20K a month version of myself do? What would the 20K a month version of myself have? And you try your best to emulate those characteristics right now. So you start to form this image. But what happens is, interestingly enough, your business starts to grow. You go from 5K to 10K in 1 month, and then 10K to 15K, and you're so close to getting to that 20K. But then maybe in month 3 or month 4, you go back down to 5K. So things were going well, and now reality is taking the path of least resistance to help you get to 20K a month. Who knows? Maybe going back to 5K a month means that the month after that, you'd get to 20K a month. But no, you take this one bad thing that happened, and you start to say, oh my God, oh no, I'm falling back into my old ways. Oh no, bad things are happening. Instead of just letting it go, instead of just accepting that you might have a bad day every now and then, you might have a bad month every now and then, and there are lessons to be learned in there. But instead of learning those lessons, you start to berate yourself and punish yourself, and you let your self-image get affected by it. And now the image starts to change as well. Now the image goes from, I'm this 20K a month business owner and I do what a 20K a month business owner would do, and I have what a 20K a month business owner would have, back to, oh man, I'm just a 5K a month business owner. And I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me when I flip-flop back and forth because I didn't truly assume and stay firm in my assumption that I am a 20K a month business owner. You see what I'm saying? So most people can't stay firm in that assumption. They let whatever happens externally shake their internal world. And really, really star athletes, and this is gonna blow your mind. Very, very high level athletes have mastered this aspect about themselves. They have this internal confidence within themselves, about themselves, that is absolutely unshakable. And a couple examples I'm going to give you are Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods. If you look at Tiger Woods, this guy has gone through maybe 10, 15, he had 5 different knee surgeries, 5 different back surgeries, spinal fusion, whatever. And every single time he's recovered from it and has come back to win championships. Why? Because he had this assumption that he was this championship caliber player. Right? So it didn't matter what happened. He would go back down and be worse than the worst golf player in the world, but then he would still catch up. And now you might be thinking, oh, it's just muscle memory, etc. But if you listen to his interviews, he had to reconstruct his swing so many times. He had to learn golf from scratch so many times. But he had this internal, unshakable confidence in himself, this assumption that, wait a second, I've done this before. I am this player. I am this championship caliber player. Therefore, I can learn it and do it again. And he has done this time and time again. And it's because this image that he had about himself was always unshaken in spite of anything that happened outside. Another player who's done this is Michael Jordan. This guy took like a year off to play baseball. And he came back and he won championship rings, right? So what does that tell you about the kind of what he believes about himself? Like, he took a whole year off, not practicing, not doing anything basketball related. Maybe he played some casual games, but he didn't train at the intensity level that he did before he left the Bulls, right? And then he comes back and he believes that he can do it again. This internal image, unshaken. And I'm sure he's gone through challenges. I'm sure he's seen other people say, oh, Michael Jordan's lost it. He's never going to win any more championships. You know, he took a year off to go and play baseball. It's completely unlikely that he would do it again. But what did he do? He said, to hell with it. I'm going to do it again and I'm going to show you that it can be done, right? So all of these star athletes, what they have in common is this image is never affected by what reflection they see. And this is the one quality that you need to cultivate in order to be successful at anything. If you make the decision to become a 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K a month business owner, do not let anything that you see in your external world affect that reflection. Anything that happens is just an anomaly. If it doesn't support your worldview and your assumption that you made in who you want to become, it's an anomaly. From this point, that should be your mindset. If you go 2-3 weeks without a sale, it's an anomaly. I'm learning a lesson from it. I can't see the lesson yet, but I know in due time it's going to come to me. So this is another fundamental point about creating your reality. In order to become a master at reality creation, you must be extremely biased in favor of what assumption you've made. If things go well, great, things are going well. If things don't go well, great. Things aren't going well because things are about to go really well afterwards. So everything is great. This is how you manipulate your own psychology in order to become successful. And you need to learn how to do this because you have to understand that reality isn't subjective. It's not objective. You have to understand that reality isn't objective. It's very, very subjective. It's very, very moldable. Whatever you say, this mirror will reflect. If you say things are good, then things are going to be good. If you say things are bad, then things are going to be bad. As the image, so the reflection. The mirror can't smile before you smile, right? So this brings me to one last point that is very, very crucial to going through tough times and still making out in great shape. And this is essentially, you form an assumption via a decision, right? So you make a decision and have focus plus patience. If you look at every single successful entrepreneur, business owner, athlete, artist, they all had focus and patience. They made a decision and a fundamental assumption in who they wanted to be. And they simply focused on it and they had patience. Focus and patience are two qualities that will make you successful longer term in anything. Business owners are constantly met with challenges. I have heard of people who have had 7 failed businesses to have the 8th one be a massive success. Why? They focused on what they wanted to do and they had patience. So why this is key is because every time we're met with a challenge, we quickly change our plans. We quickly find something next to jump into. But another reason why that happens is because we're not truly clear on what it is we would like to commit our lives to. We think we want things, but it's not really what we deep down want. Okay, so we need to discard these surface level desires and get clarity on what we really want to commit our lives to deep down. Okay, this is why I do what I do and why I talk about clarity so much. If you just get clear and you focus, your whole journey is just focused on getting clearer and clearer about yourself, about what you want, about who you are, getting self-awareness. All of these problems that you're seeing here, the lack of confidence and everything, they'll just get clearer. You just need to own and understand who you are and what it is you want. Your core desires will never change. Unless and until you're in pursuit of them and you actually achieve them, those desires will always remain unfulfilled and you will always be unfulfilled. So you need to learn how to discard these little desires easily by, observing your mind and inquiring within, and make your whole life a commitment, to pursuing the desires that you can't discard, that are so deeply rooted that they need to be experienced before you can discard them. Okay? So form a decision and have focus plus patience, and you'll see how everything just starts to fall into place. Maybe it won't happen a week from now. Maybe it won't happen a month from now. Maybe not a year, but 5 years from now, if you stick at one particular thing, it's bound to happen, right? So now let's get to the 4 keys that'll help you really consolidate everything that I've spoken about and come out of tough times and still be able to design your reality. Key number 1, operate from a fundamental assumption that governs be, do, and have. So look at what it is you want. And then look at, who do I have to be? What do I have to have? And what do I want to do? We usually begin here. We look at, all right, what do I want to have? What do I want? And then if I were to have this, what would I be doing every single day? And then if I were to do that, who would I need to be in order to effortlessly do that and have that every single day? And make a fundamental assumption around that. So to give you an example of that, maybe you imagine a life of freedom and you decide that, okay, well, in order to have all of those things, I need to be a 20K a month business owner. What would a 20K a month business owner do? Continually ask yourself and base your decisions, anything that you do, from that place of being. And any challenges that come your way, just use those to either fuel that assumption or ignore it, which is what I'm going to speak about in a second. Number 2, crucial part, become biased. In order to master reality creation, you must become biased. Everything is serving you. Just make the assumption that everything is somehow serving you. And from that assumption, just ask, okay, well, I'm assuming that everything is serving me, but the rational mind needs to see proof of how it might be serving me. You just need to convince your mind to believe that it is. So just ask, okay, how could this be a potential advantage? I've been making 5K a month and I'm really close to 20K a month. I got to 15K a month, but I'm now back to 5K a month. How could this potentially be serving me? This might just be a temporary setback before something really big happens. Could be, right? So become biased and learn to look for the positives in everything. And if you can't, you either simply ignore this event, this temporary setback, and ignore it and see it as just a potential advantage, or just ignore it and see it as an anomaly, or and find the benefit in it. So these two go hand in hand, but I'm just elaborating on number 2 here. So either ignore, the least you can do is ignore it. Oh, this is just an anomaly. This doesn't really mean anything. Maybe you want to be a great golfer, right? And you have one bad game. Are you going to let that bad game make you believe that you're a terrible golfer? No. If you made the assumption to be a certain caliber of athlete, then you don't let one bad game shape who you are. You still operate from that assumption that I am this awesome, amazing athlete, just like Tiger Woods has done, just like Michael Jordan has done. They've had bad games, they've had bad stretches, but they didn't let that affect their assumption, right? So ignore it at the very least, and at the very most, find the actual advantage in it. What did I learn from this bad game that is going to help me become that athlete that I want to become, or that business owner that I want to become. And number 4, focus and patience. Focus and patience. Stick to it for a long period of time. Good things take some time. Rome wasn't built in a day. If you keep putting your energy into this one particular area, over time it is going to blossom. Over time it is going to compound, as opposed to if you keep jumping around from one thing to the next. And this is why it's so important to find out that core thing that you would want to persist in for the rest of your life, that you want to commit to for the rest of your life. If you don't know what that is, that's completely fine. Just go with what you do know at the moment, instead of, wondering what you don't know. Just go with what you do know, and in time, that thing will start to reveal itself. As you start to explore all of these little desires that you have, and you explore life, and you see that this was fruitless, that was fruitless. Once you can eliminate all of these, then there's room for that core thing to come out. I didn't know that I wanted to make these videos and talk about personal development and reality creation until I explored different realms of my life, until I explored fitness, until I explored dating, until I explored academia and learning to get good grades and video games and all of those things. I didn't know that until I actually did all of those things, and I tried to do it, and then I saw that, I'm not really interested in this. This isn't it. You'll just know. Intuitively, you'll just know that this isn't it, and you need to trust that intuition, right? So with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really wanted to keep this short. It's 23 minutes long, but I hope you got some value from it. Let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. Guys, I really think this is the most important thing that you can master in order to master your reality. This is probably 80% of mastering your reality. The rest of it is getting clear, becoming aware, learning to create, using visualizing, using other forms to actually set and project an image that you want to bring into reality, the reflection you'd like to see in reality. But the rest of it is just coordination and learning how to get through these tough times, because this is inevitably what stops most people from creating what they want, right? So first of all, remember that reality will always take the path of least resistance. There's nothing you can do. Reality just has its own way of delivering things to you. Don't try to control the means, just keep focusing on that goal that you have. Number 2, understand that reality works in a mirror-like model. There is a reflection. The external world that you see is a reflection of some internal image that you've presented. Always make sure that the image is unadulterated, unaffected, unedited. Better word for that, you can let me know in the comments. And an example of that are athletes like Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan. No matter what happened, they came back to their original level of performance. Why? Because internally they were already there. If you're already there, if you're already a 20K a month business owner, it's just a matter of time the reflection takes to catch up to that, right? And lastly, form a decision. Decisions are important. Decisions signify your commitment. Like a lot of people, they can never achieve anything worthwhile because they don't get clear on what they want and then make a commitment to the plan to achieving that, right? So if you don't make a commitment and a decision, you will quickly get punished. And I know I talk about golf a lot, but I learn a lot of these lessons. Like I'm seeing a lot of these principles in application in golf. Like in golf, if you don't make a commitment to a shot, you're going to fail. You have to commit. Even if that shot doesn't do well, you have to commit to that shot. And you can't second guess. You have to focus on a target. You keep your mind focused on a target, your subconscious will take over and help you get there. Right? Form a decision and have focus plus patience. Focus on it, don't keep jumping from one thing to the next, which is part of commitment. And patience is simply persisting in that image that you presented. And then the 4 keys we talked about were, number 1, operate from that fundamental assumption that you made that governs who you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have. We begin with the having, what we want to have. Oh, maybe I want that freedom. What would a person who has freedom be doing every day? Oh, well, this person will be doing this. This person will be doing something they're passionate about. This person would work in something that they actually enjoy. And this person would be this certain caliber, have these characteristics. Try your best to emulate those now and operate from that fundamental assumption every day. And don't let that assumption ever get shaken. And how you do that is by controlling your attitude. At the end of the day, your attitude is the only thing you can shape. That is the only thing that's under your control 100% of the time. Take advantage of it. So how you do that is by becoming biased. Become biased. Everything is going your way. Have that assumption. Okay, if everything is going my way, how could this setback actually be serving me? Now you are asking the right questions, not why did this happen? Why did this bad thing happen? I'm a victim now. Why? Instead of asking that, ask how is this a blessing in disguise? Okay? Number 3, if you can't do that, at the very least, just ignore this particular setback as an anomaly. In golf, we're taught to forget the bad shots and dwell on our good shots. Right? Just forget the bad shots, erase them from your memory, and just remember those really good shots that you had. You're becoming biased, right? You would think that it would be encouraged to remember your bad shots and remember that, oh, you mustn't do it this way. But no, the subconscious, remember, it always works in the content of your focus, not the nature of your focus. It doesn't care what you're looking to avoid or you're looking to move towards. It only cares about the content of it. If you're looking to avoid something, that thing is what you're going to get. If you're looking to move towards something, that thing is what you're going to get. And finally, focus and have patience. So with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope this was valuable. Leave me a comment letting me know what you thought of this, if this was helpful to you, and let me know what's one big takeaway that you took from this that you think is going to really help you out. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. I put out videos every single Thursday around this time, around 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're looking forward to my schedule, then that's what it is. And if you'd like to work closer together with me and my team in our flagship Reality Mastery program, and this is a close mentorship with me where we help you, particularly business owners and entrepreneurs, we find that who are stuck at a certain level in their business and they want to scale up their revenues and they're seeing that they don't really have a business tactic or strategic problem. They deep down have an internal problem, a personal problem, a lack of discipline. They can't get motivated. They don't have the drive to do what they want to do. They keep procrastinating, putting things off. They keep doubting themselves. And they're seeing all of these things are reflecting out into their business and keeping them stuck at that level that they're stuck at. Typically, we work with business owners who are at least making 5K a month and they want to scale up to 6 and 7 figures by changing their mindset and their identity. If that sounds like you, click on the link in the description below to apply. Let's see if we can help you out. And a free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.